Yo, yo, what's going on, guys? That boy Treezy here. As promised, I have returned with gameplay from update 1.4. This is my main agent, as you can see, a bit different from what he was. DPS at the time of recording was lower, toughness had gone down, skill power had gone up in some ways, but again, hopefully you've read the patch notes for the update from the Division. You can find them on the Division's website or in some of the stories that I've posted on Treezy. Now, what I've done is gone through the same mission. It's on challenging, and it's with the same with the same skills and talents. You remember in the 1.3 version I was using Pulse, Overheal, and the security signature skill link. The only thing I didn't realise was challenging in 1.4 actually has level 33 enemies now, and I'm sure in 1.3 it had level 32, so it may not have been a completely fair comparison, but either way, for all four of my agents I let the team down, and I actually died with each one. I think for one of them I died twice, and then for the other three I only died once. Oh, excuse me. But it was each agent struggled at the shotgun part, really. It still took about the same amount of time to complete the mission. I did have to be a little bit more cautious with my playstyle. But as you watch the video, you'll see that the time to kill enemies is definitely different. But it's a lot easier to get killed now. It makes me appreciate how much I used to rely on skills. Well, for all the agents really, besides probably my second guy who was the Predator, who was the agent that was using Predator's mark. Because with this agent, obviously I used to run 4 pieces of Tactician's Authority, and even without that, even when rolling solo, I still had enough like skill power and skill haste specifically to be able to keep my skills, you know, on the go all the time when I needed them. Pulse was always really strong. The heal would always heal me efficiently enough, and then I'd always be able to cool them down quickly enough to, you know, keep me in the game. Where the skill haste has dropped now for every character. I think on this character it may be about 15%. I have typed up a blog of my build, my usual build report. You know, obviously with 1.4, after 1.4 had been released. So if I have a quick look now, I do like a notable stats section as well, and a lot of the stuff has gone down. Obviously SMG, crit hit chance, crit hit damage, headshot damage has all gone down. The SMG is actually still pretty nice that I've got for this agent, because it still comes with a critical hit chance. It's still an update 1.2 version, so it's still not bad, but you do need to hit pretty hard with it. You do have to be quite accurate, quite close up to make that as efficient as it was. My assault rifle hits harder now, well, it seems to, at least anyway. The only thing is now I don't get any health on kill from any of my weapons. I am going to try and roll some sort of health on kill, more than likely on my assault rifle, because even before the game was updated, I didn't like not having that as part of my setup anyway. I did feel the difference with that, even in 1.3, not getting the health on kill, because that makes you super reliant on your heal skill. So I'll definitely try and get that back on a talent. But I think I'd rather have it as a weapon talent and not waste one of the slots on the pieces. Because I think now on average you're looking at about 4% health on kill. Let's say from your armour. I know you can get it as on armour, I can't remember what else you can get it on, but I'm going to try and get it on a weapon instead. Or even the one where you get X amount of health back over like 20 seconds or something like that. Because otherwise you just won't get any health back at all until you go out of combat. And in this mission in particular, you're in combat quite for, you know, small chunks of time. Or even the one just for getting like 3% health off like critical hits or something like that. So yeah, in terms of his skill haste, I think it went down. It went down to 18%. So that was down 11%. It was 29%. So obviously there's a notable difference there. The armour for all the characters went down quite a lot, averaging probably between about 25 to 30%. And then a few other bits as well. Protection from elites went down. I think the only thing that went up for everyone, bar my main agent, was increased skill XP. But I mean, all in all, though, I am still enjoying the game. I've not had a massive amount of time with it yet. The only decent chunk of time I had was the night that it went live. I've been working like literally non-stop since then, putting in like overtime as well. So at the time of recording, I've just started my single night off for this week. So hopefully I'll get this video up soon after recording, and then I'm going to try and quickly put the other three together as well, preferably before I do the nursery run, and then at least they're done and just need like rendering and uploading. But yeah, all in all, update seems pretty good. I mean, my builds are still works in progress. I'd only done a few bits before I recorded this mission, but I had to, I think it was a morning where I didn't need to get up early in the day to do any school runs or anything where I recorded it. So at the time of recording for this agent, he was using, I think, 3 tacticians and then like 2 high-end, I think, and a nomad for his mask. The nomad piece just happened to be quite a good piece anyway, that's why I was using that one. The high-end gloves give me 7% crit hit chance against targets out of cover, and I think the backpack gives me 200% of my firearms and stamina towards skill power. The 4-piece, I'm not the 4-piece tacticians. I'm not going to bother with anymore for this agent. I'm going to leave that for my 4th agent, seeing as he is the all-out skill guy. What I'm trying to do for my for my solo build, I'm going to try and get 3 pieces of nomad and 3 pieces of tacticians. The tacticians now, I think 2 pieces gives you 10% skill haste and 3 pieces gives you 10% skill power. And then obviously 4 pieces, same bonus as it used to be, but it's not as powerful as it was now. Instead of giving you 1% extra skill power for every 60,000 damage the group does for a max of 100%, it now gives you 0.2% skill power for every bullet that your group lands, and that's only for a max of 30%, and it also goes back to 0 if the bonus isn't updated within 10 seconds, or it's been at the max for 10 seconds. So it's been nerfed quite a lot compared to what it used to be. So I'm not overly fussed about having that for both agents now. And then the 3 pieces of nomad, I think 2 pieces gives me 15% health on kill, which 15% is really good for this update. And 3 pieces, it gives you a perk where you'll get a little constant heal that'll allow you to heal into the next health segment, whereas you wouldn't normally be able to do that unless you use your heal or go out of combat. So that's ideally going to be my solo build. I'll probably keep it as it is for now for my group build, although I'm going to try and get a mask that's different from the Nomad, so I can get a separate talent for that. And over my Dark Zone build, I do have a Banshees Dark Zone build with this agent. It's 4 Banshee pieces and 2 Nomad pieces. Obviously, again, two Nomad pieces gives me 15% health on kill, and the Banshees 2 pieces gives you, I think it's an extra 20% looted Dark Zone currency. 3 pieces gives you an extra 10% damage against targets out of cover. 4 pieces, when you're rogue, your ammo refills automatically every 30 seconds, and damage from non-rogue players is reduced by 10%, and then if you're not rogue, you do an extra 10% damage against people who are rogue, and if you die against whoever, NPCs or rogue players, you don't lose any Dark Zone currency and you don't lose any Dark Zone XP, which is a massive plus in my opinion, because it makes me feel not necessarily safer to go into the Dark Zone, but like it's not going to be as devastating to die anymore, because if you can run around, kill 9, 10, 11 NPCs, which isn't easy and can be quite pressurizing when you're by yourself in the Dark Zone, because obviously you've got a lot more to lose and only the same to gain at a slower pace if you're not in a group, and then you die and you lose that what can be a pretty chunky portion of XP. It's pretty devastating, especially maybe if you go rogue as well, and it's not even intentional. You might hit another agent, just a few too many times, and then he turns around and wipes you out, and you'll lose quite a sizable amount of XP for that as well. So that's the Banshee gear set's pretty cool to keep equipped. So I'm not going to bother with it on my other agents, though, as I'm not overly fussed about them losing XP. I'm not trying to grow their Dark Zone rank. I mean, there's no major benefit to the Dark Zone rank anyway besides what you can buy, but my main agent's like rank 88 now in the Dark Zone, and I don't even know if there's still stuff that you can buy at rank 90, but it's not like you wouldn't be able to get most of the gear outside of the Dark Zone anyway. And the Dark Zone isn't a must now. The only thing I still go in there for is Dark Zone assignment. Besides that, there's a lot more to do in the open world now. Obviously you've got the field proficiency, where you get, as you can see in the top right corner, you get an XP for everything that you do now. I mean, well, you get XP for the same things that you did anyway, but once you fill the bar up, you get awarded a cash now that will give you Phoenix credits and either two high-end items, or one gear set, one high-end item, or if you're lucky you might get two gear set items, which I haven't got yet. Then you get cashes for completing the daily assignments. So with the crafting assignment that you used to do, I don't even remember what you used to get for it. Oh, you used to get 1 division tech, which was pretty annoying, because let's say for example you had to convert 5 specialised fabric pieces into high-end. You might end up having to use your division tech to do that, and then your reward for that is 1 division tech, which was kind of annoying. Where now you can do that same assignment and you'll get awarded a cash for it, which will give you a high-end item and, like, I think it's between 4 and 7 of each crafting material, so electronics, fabric, weapon parts and tools. So it's even if you do have to use crafting pieces for the assignment, you'll always gain from it with the cash. And then the same for the ones you do your Dark Zone assignment, you get a Dark Zone cash. That gives you, I think, Dark Zone currency and a high-end item. And then the combat one, I think it's just high-end item and Phoenix credits maybe. But it's worth, like, playing in the PvE world. And when I've had the time, I've not been fast travelling everywhere as well. I've actually been running to places and all. Now I've got ripped a bit here. I think it's this part where I died. You see my heals like cooled down, and I'm sure I got blitzed. Like 2 health segments got absolutely destroyed off me here. I'm just waiting for it now. I think 2 shotgunners like smashed me at the same time. Yeah, you can see there. But if you, I mean, you probably won't be able to hear it because of my talking, but you heard that. You can hear the ping just as I died as well, and my health didn't give it to me there. That's the only time I died in mission, but it was disappointing because I actually recorded with this agent last. I really wanted him to shine amongst everyone, and I died there and let everyone down. But to be fair to Massive and Ubisoft, the heal is it's obviously it's not as powerful as it used to be, but it does actually heal instantly now. It's been pleasant to actually heal when I want to, whereas I used to press it. Sometimes it'd take that extra second for him to even use the heal, and then it took that extra second for it to actually heal you, whereas now you press it, it heals almost instantly. A lot better than it used to be. Just down me brew. I made a brew. It's gonna go cold by the time I finish recording this. What else is the changes? I mean, all in all, a lot of stuff seems to have been nerfed, but then again, the whole, you've got to remember that the whole game's been rebalanced, including NPCs. I think shotgunners, I don't know, man, they've still been wrecking me. They've still been spoiling some of my missions, but I think even though it's still a bit upsetting, you can't deny that they're not as dangerous as they used to be. If you hit them first, they're pretty much done. It's just a case of if they hit you, they're going to send you into a panic. There's still that panic nature. I mean, this mission specifically, you get them like 6 or 7 that come through that door. It's pretty ridiculous, but every time even though I died in each video, every time I funneled them back through one of the doorways that you come through before you get into this section, I was able to handle them. Although I've noticed now, if you know me and you've watched my gameplay, and you might have even used my walkthrough for the game, excuse me, on True Achievements, you know that I told you that corner peeking was a big thing to being successful, especially in the underground, where it used to take ages to get through missions, and you couldn't even look at enemies properly without going down. And I had the whole corner peeking thing going on. But stick your gun out of the cover and try and keep your body in the cover. That doesn't seem to work as efficiently as it used to. There's one big thing I've noticed with enemies now is they don't like to sit around as much as they used to. I used to be able to like corner peek and just keep headshotting the same guy over and over and over, whereas now if they do get in that awkward position where they kind of can't systematically make up their mind if you're in cover or not, and you have a line of sight on them and you hit them once, that every time now they're moving, and it's making it a lot harder to be as efficient with headshots. I've noticed that much more now with my third agent, the aggressive DPS guy, because he had, well, still has it, he has a sniper that cools down his skills, like, I think it was 7.50%, it's 5% now. 5% every time he gets a headshot, so that made him like quite the beast because he was aggressive. His health wasn't great, but he was able to cool his skills down a lot all the time. And I was rocking the 4-piece Sentry's Call gear set at the time as well, which obviously does the whole marks them with a headshot, and everyone will be doing 5% extra damage, and you can do that. You can mark the enemy 3 times over. But I've been finding it so much harder to actually mark people with him now. So rather than being sloppy with my headshotting, I think for that guy I'm going to go more for the Striker's gear set, which still has the same bonus of when you hit an enemy, it does 1% extra damage. So obviously, if you're laying into an enemy with an assault rifle or SMG at close range, you're doing more and more and more and more damage with every shot that you hit. It's just you'll suffer. Well, no, not exactly suffer, but your bonus drops 2% rather than gaining a percentage if you miss shots. So as long as you can be accurate and hit a lot of shots, that gear set's quite worthy to use. So I'm going to try and get him to have 4 strikers and 2 sentries, Probably as a solo build, I think in a group I'll probably still rock 3 sentries, 3 strikers for a good balance. But I'm still going to keep that sniper anyway. Because it's a pretty beast sniper. But I mean, I've still been rocking the M1A for 3 or 4 out of my agents. It is a lot softer than it used to be though, that's definitely noticeable. They haven't, I don't think they've nerfed the base damage massively. It's not as bad as it looked like it was going to be, but it's definitely not. Overall, I think with the changes like pulse and overall bonuses and stuff, it's definitely not the beast it used to be, but it's still okay. So long as you can hit the shots, so long as you're fairly accurate with it, it's still an efficient sniper. But if you're really supreme with your accuracy, I probably would lean more towards using one of the bolt action ones now, because their base damage is obviously a lot stronger than it used to be. One of my agents, I think my health guy, my second agent, is using the I think it's the Hunter's M44 or Hunting M44. Obviously, the only downside is those snipers don't have as many mod slots, so you can't, like, you know, customize them to perfection, if you will. But when you hit with them, they hit pretty hard. It's just they only have 5 bullets in the clip. There's no customizable magazine in, I think, any of them. Or maybe I think maybe the SRS does. And then if you miss, obviously it's bolt action, so it's one shot when the sniper's ready, and then, you know, you got to spend more time reloading and whatnot. But when you do hit the shots and you hit a crit as well, it's pretty damn damaging. I mean, that's about it really off the top of my head. You know how I roll when I record these commentaries. I don't have a script or anything like that. I mean, I should do really, probably make them a bit more structured and whatnot, but time is money, so I just load a video up, press record, do my thing, you know, drinking brews. And man, I used to smoke when I recorded back in there. But moving on, plans for the future. I mean, the game, don't get me wrong, the game has sucked me back in where I have had, I mean, I've only been averaging like an hour or so per day over the past like week and a half, but it has got me interested again. It has sucked me back in a bit. I mean, even though it's been, you know, kind of technically having to rebuild every agent, it's not been as drastic as probably some people I've seen making it out to be. But that's the thing that keeps me in the game, is the whole customizing, playing with this, playing with that, changing this, changing that, you know, putting that mod there, that mod here. So I have enjoyed being able to, having a reason to be able to go out, get gear again and chop and change agents. I think for my main agent, as I say, riding solo is going to be 3 tacticians, 3 nomad pieces in a group. Probably the setup I've got now, but with a different mask. 3 nomad, 3 high-end pieces. For the mask, I'll probably try and get the one that gives me, I either want a mask that will give me the talent for healing 2% every second while under a status effect, because that's pretty beast. That I've been using that for my I think it was for me second agent, me toughness guy, and it's actually quite useful, because obviously damage, you're taking a lot more damage on average now from everything, including like being set on fire as well, so that being able to heal while under a status effect has been quite useful. Let's finish my brew. I'm happy with these weapons. I mean, it's a shame about the SMGs again not being as effective as they were. I don't really use that as a main weapon now. I think I've fallen back to the assault rifle being the main weapon. I might try and get the historian again, because I quite enjoyed that sniper rifle for my tacticians guy. Although my tacticians has got a beast first wave M1A now, I might let this agent, my main agent, have a little blast at that, because it seems to be really beasty with its base damage now. I don't know if they've increased that or there just happens to be a good one for sale at the vendor. But first of all, I do need to save up for the stamina gear mod. I've bought the firearms and the electronics ones, the level 33 base ones. I just need the stamina one now, so I need to save up for that first. Excuse me. And then, another thing as well, the performance mod slots. That's quite an interesting an interesting change. The only thing is with that, some of the, I think it's like gloves, for example, they came with like 3 major attributes. So like critical hit chance damage, critical hit damage, and then like assault rifle damage or something like that, and then a skill attribute. Whereas now, the 1.4 gloves don't come with the skill attribute as natural, and obviously don't have a mod slot as well, which sucks a little bit, but I guess. Oh no, because the old gloves got updated with like 100 summit for the other 2 stats as well. Never mind, forget that. But yeah, for the relevant pieces that do have a performance mod slot, it's quite a cool addition to that. I thought at first it's going to be pretty crappy because the performance mods themselves just weren't interesting at all. But I guess in a way it allows you for more customization now, because you're not having to try and roll for, I don't know, extra pulse critical hit damage or extra first aid self heal. You can actually have the mod that covers that now, and you can put whatever mod in that you want for your piece, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's going to be the plan for my main agent. For my second agent, who's the toughness guy, I have actually scaled him more towards health now, so he is actually a lot tougher. He's got the most toughness and most armor mitigation out of everyone now. He's also got the 4-piece final measure set, and he is notably stronger than the other guys. Still gets slapped a little bit though, but say like against the shotgun guys, he can stand up to the shotgun guys a lot better than my other free agents can. And I'm quite happy with his build actually, his final measure build at least. Anyway, I'm trying to get him a bit of a different build for in the dark zone, because I don't know. Obviously, the main threat in the dark zone is other agents, but I don't know really. I guess the protection from elites would still come in handy. But I want to try and keep the Predator's mark gear that he had in the mix. I mean, I ended up selling like a couple of pieces, so it's an incomplete set again now. But I may get that back in the mix for the dark zone, just so I can keep the offensiveness there. You know what I mean? Because if he's going to be scaled into stamina anyway, and then his toughness is still going to be there, I still need to give him something that will allow him to attack efficiently. And then for my third agent, the DPS man, he'll probably still be the same: 3 strikers, 3 sentries, and then 4 strikers and 2 sentries. Or I may lean towards 4 sentries in the PvE world, and then 4 strikers for the dark zone. And then for the 4th agent, I'll probably keep him as he is. Oh no, actually, I want to experiment with the Firecrest. Firecrest now, that's changed quite a bit. I think for, oh no, what do you get for 2? I think 2 you get an extra 3 slots of incendiary bullets. 3, oh, what do you get for 3? 3 you get 50% extra range on the flamethrower turret, and 50% extra damage with the flamethrower turret. And then for 4 pieces you get like an extra certain amount of percentage damage against enemies that are on fire. But the flamethrower turret is actually pretty beast, even the standard version, if you've got enough skill power to make it pretty decent. So I am interested in checking that out. But anyway, that's it for the video, guys. Keep an eye on my build reports on my blog on True Achievements. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next 3 videos as well. Until next time.